Hello everybody, welcome back. It's some Sal.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
We're going to talk about The Flash Rebirth from our good pal, Geoff Johns. We don't do enough Flash.
Okay.
And this one is probably most people's first Flash book nowadays. Because for a lot of people,
Just came out.
No, this is from 2009. It's actually 10 years old this past April. Yeah. Rebirth was not just a publishing initiative that Geoff Johns spearheaded and then abandoned. It was also the moniker that Johns gave to the characters he cared the most about. It started with Green Lantern Rebirth, which we've also done on this channel, which you can find over there. Great episode. Had the same collaborative partnership for Geoff Johns. Did it again with The Flash, because he's like, okay, I fixed it. I brought back Hal Jordan. I rendered all the other Lanterns irrelevant. Now, time to do it again with Flash. Flash Rebirth seeks to, in 6 issues, which were heavily delayed, reestablish the Flash as a heavy hitter, as an important character, and as a legacy type person.
Is that a common thing with Geoff Johns books?
Yes.
Interesting.
Is rebirthing and legacies? Yes.
No, I meant heavily delayed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Maybe he's a perfectionist.
I think he is a perfectionist. I think that when it comes to certain things, he needs to have it perfect.
That's fair.
And for the most part, he's like the Jerry Bruckheimer of comic book writers. Which is not an insult. I didn't call him the Michael Bay of comic book writers.
Well, there's no content there.
Well, yeah. Well,
Hey.
it looks great. And he made
The Rock.
The Rock. So, Michael Bay gets a pass sometimes. The Rock. Ben, The Rock.
I know, The Rock.
It's so much fun. I was almost called it
But it
good.
was also written well.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
But you know who produced that movie? Jerry fucking Bruckheimer. He's Barry Allen, The Flash, until about 1986, when Crisis on Infinite Earths happens, and he dies, sacrificing himself, not intentionally, by the way. He's trying to break the Anti-Monitor's cannon, and then he dies.
It just explodes on him?
Now, he fades away. He runs so hard and fast that he just kind of unmakes himself. But then, no, he doesn't. He actually goes into the Speed Force, and then you won't see him again until Infinite Crisis when they're fighting Superboy Prime. And then out of nowhere, Bart Allen, Barry Allen's grandson from the future, is fighting Superboy Prime, and then they're fighting in the Speed Force, and then Barry Allen just kind of pops out of the Speed Force, grabs Superboy Prime, pulls him in there, and you're like, whoa, 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 Barry Allen's alive? And then, Final Crisis, Barry Allen comes back. We find out, oh, he's being chased by the Black Racer, who is an agent of Darkseid, who's technically Death, but he skis. After Final Crisis, everybody's like, oh, Barry Allen's back. And in fact, he comes back in Final Crisis. And then Geoff Johns is like, finally. So then he reestablishes Barry with this. And the story goes...
But Wally was the Flash that whole time, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. From 86 to 2006, Wally's the Flash. And for a long time, he's having a hard time being the Flash. Of course, when you're talking about Barry Allen, the Flash, you can't not talk about other legacy characters that Geoff Johns also has affinity for, like Jay Garrick, the Flash.
Okay, I know him.
Now, you're familiar with Jay Garrick. Jay Garrick is
he's got the weird helmet.
He's got the Mercury helmet.
Yeah, that's the only reason I know him.
Well, he is a founding member of the JSA, the Justice Society of America. And the JSA was the Justice League of Earth 2. The Counter-Earth that is made up of comic book characters that Barry Allen read about. That also happened to be real. And over there. And that was birthed in a story called The Crisis on Two Earths, which is the first establishing story of the DC multiverse. Barry runs so fast he ends up in Earth 2. He meets Jay Garrick. He's like, you're the guy who inspired me to become the Flash. Of course, the other...
Other than the fact that I was tossed with chemicals and electricity or lightning hit me.
Well, all those things. All those things at once happened that made Barry the Flash. But of course, in DC Comics history, Jay Garrick was the original Flash. It was just that later on, when they were like, oh, we want to kind of take our stories more seriously and whatnot, 57, we're getting kind of heavy with these stories.
Yeah.
They said, oh, all the Jay Garrick stuff happened in Other Earth.
Yeah, because we can't have that hokey, helmet-wearing weirdo running around.
And also, Barry read those comic books and became a fan of the Flash.
That's so bizarre.
And then it turns out that those comics were actually a portal into Earth 2, a window into Earth 2, and that the vibrations of Earth 2 inspired the creator of those comic books to kind of write them so that they could exist somewhere.
I get why Grant Morrison digs the DC universe.
Right?
Like, I get it.
Yeah, and why
It's
he
just...
shits on the Marvel Universe so much?
Yeah.
Big time. So Jay Garrick, after a number of crises, was just in this universe too. Because, of course, after Crisis, they were like, oh, they killed the multiverse. Now there is no more Earth 2, but we still want to say those characters existed. So they were just like, there were superheroes during World War II. That's the JSA now.
It's a little bit like Watchmen?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where Jay comes from.
Okay.
But before Jay, there was another character named Max Mercury. And Max Mercury is another speedster.
Was he called the Flash?
No, he was called Max Mercury.
Okay.
And he became the mentor for Bart Allen of the future, who's Barry Allen's grandson. He comes back in time. He becomes like a fun teen superhero known as Impulse, created by Mark Waid. And so Impulse is like directionless and needs guidance and help. Max Mercury, who's actually like the oldest Flash, by retconning, he becomes Bart's mentor.
Right? Very, very confusing.
There's lots of Flashes, and they all are important, and they have a lot of fans. Max, Jay, Barry, Wally, Bart. Also, Wally's children. Let's not get into them.
I was going to say, who's Kid Flash?
Kid Flash is Impulse, a.k.a. Bart Allen.
Okay.
Wally was also Kid Flash.
Okay.
But eventually, Barry died, and he took up the mantle of
Okay.
Flash.
I am no longer Kid Flash.
I am just
I
Flash.
am Flash.
There aren't any other Flashes to
Now-
confuse people.
I
now-
would say adult Flash, but that's just
that
weird.
would be...
Now
I
I'm
have to-
Teen Flash? No.
No, that doesn't work either.
That's like too many speedsters.
Well, thankfully, they got rid of a few of them. Like they
Did
pulled...
they also get absorbed into the Speed Force?
Yes. Max goes into the Speed Force, and Johnny Quick goes into the Speed Force.
What?
Another speedster.
You didn't mention him before.
I did not. He's not too important.
He's only quick. That's the thing. He's not fast.
They're all fast!
Is Eobard going to be in this?
Of course, he's the main bad guy. in the
Damn
story.
it!
It's all Flashes! It's not like the Mirror Master's gonna be the villain of this story.
I mean-
chock full of Flashes.
You apparently have the Black Rider.
Perhaps.
Yes, that's Black Flash. And Black Flash was also created by Mark Waid during the Mark Waid Wally West era, and Black Flash was originally just an evil Flash who was death for speedsters.
Just for
speedsters.
speedsters.
Just for speedsters. As you could tell, there are countless speedsters. Then, later, they introduced the Black Racer, and then, later than that, Wally, in like some meta conversation, muses that maybe the Black Flash is the same thing as the Black Racer. They're not. But someone else also tried to say, apropos of the Black Racer and the Black Flash, somebody in comics tried to argue that Death of the Endless
That's where I was going.
and Black Racer and Black Flash and maybe one other character are all part of the same death entity.
Okay, I'm gonna leave.
To which Neil Gaiman said, no.
Thank you, Neil.
Neil Gaiman came out and was like, whoever wrote that is a charlatan. Death of the Endless is death, period, no more.
Yeah.
Black Racer is Darkseid's emissary of death, or whatever you want. All that I have to say is, if somebody says that Death of the Endless is somehow also connected to one of your silly-ass speedsters, then I will have a problem.
Yes.
And they were like, fair enough, Neil. Don't freak out. So,
Oh, it's too late for that.
I mention all these characters because they all appear in this 6-issue miniseries.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and they're all vitally important. What matters is, about 23 years, Wally West is the Flash,
Right.
and wins the hearts and minds of everyone reading it.
And Wally's is more fun, right?
Wally's the fun one, Barry was the serious one.
I'm
Barry
not saying
was
that
the-
Barry's not fun, but I mean like Wally's more like jokey,
Yeah.
punny.
Wally's quippy.
Wally's quippy.
Yeah.
Wally was the fun one, and he was more fun when they established him in the Justice League cartoon show.
Oh, that's where I'm thinking of it from. Because I was going to say he's funnier, he's got the alliteration.
Yeah, he's also the one who tapped into the Speed Force first.
First?
Yeah.
How first?
They invented it when Wally was the Flash.
Oh.
So
Technically-
the Speed Force didn't exist?
Well, no one invented it yet
Like-
until they established Wally was the Flash.
Okay.
So, like,
Okay.
technically Wally's faster.
But Barry was absorbed by the Speed Force.
Well, that's what they said later.
Okay.
What happened in
just
Crisis was
disappeared.
he faded into a skeleton and died.
Yeah.
And before
that's- Yeah, you're a skeleton man.
Yeah.
And before that, he was just fast because chemicals and lightning.
Right. Yep.
Because that's the recipe right
Yeah.
there.
And everyone's like, hooray, Barry's back. And all the Flash fans that they've been developing for the last 25 years are like, yay? But my favorite character, Wally West, is the Flash. And what about Kid Flash, aka Impulse? And what about Wally's kids? And what about Max Mercury and Jay Garrick? And what about having all these redundant Flashes?
Okay.
Like, why are we doing this now? And the answer is simply because Geoff Johns loves Barry Allen.
Oh.
Also, Mark Waid wrote a lot of The Flash when Wally West was the Flash.
Okay.
And Mark Waid established a number of characters. He also created Max Mercury. He also created Black Flash. He also created, like, Impulse, a.k.a. Bart Allen.
Right.
Like, Mark Waid created the Speed Force. Mark Waid developed a lot of stuff for Flash.
Okay.
And then...
Geoff Johns is like, ugh!
Wait, that's Speed Force.
No. Geoff Johns is like a cat. He's just going on the table. He's like, no.
Only if cats actually had self-actualization. They were like, I don't like that vase, I never have.
I think they do.
You replaced my vase, my favorite vase, with that one. So anyway, Barry's back. And everybody's really excited about it for no reason. Except for Bart. Because Bart never knew Barry.
What about Iris? Is Iris happy?
Sure. Of course she is.
How long has he been dead?
Not 20 years. Because, like, that wouldn't make any sense.
Right, so all
But everyone's treating it like it's been 20 years because, like, it really has been. But in the context of the comics, it's just been a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sliding
a
scale.
long time.
You can't say a specific amount of time. But Bart is really Barry's grandson, so he should be the most excited. He's the least excited because he's like, how come you got to come from the Speed Force and you were a redundant Flash, but my pal Max Mercury couldn't come back?
Oh.
So Bart's
You're lame, Grandpa.
basically. But everybody else is excited, and all the teams that he had been associated with are throwing him, like, hooray, you're back parties. Which includes, like, the JSA and the Teen Titans and the Justice League. And because it's so fast, he can go to all of them. But he's going to none of them. The story actually opens in a laboratory where a couple of chemists are stabbed to death by a crazy cane with a lightning bolt at the end of it.
Okay.
It's Shazam, isn't it?
Right, it's
He's
Shazam!
gone
And
evil.
Yeah, because he's like, you stole my lightning bolt! So Reverse Flash kills all these guys. Because I'm not going to bury the lead here. It's Reverse Flash. He's the only villain of the story.
Yeah, and he has a cane.
Yeah. Yeah, when we first established, like, this new version of Professor Zoom / Reverse Flash, he has this, like, cool spear with a lightning bolt thing that he uses to stab people or decapitate them. And you're like, oh, he's going to use that all the time. Nah, he loses
I mean, he can go really fast. It just seems like overkill to also have a big pointy stick.
I agree, but we need it because it needs to be left behind at the end of the story.
Evidence.
It's not even evidence, just
Batman comes in?
Nah, Batman doesn't show up. You know, security guards show up, they get their asses kicked, and Professor Zoom arranges some chemicals on the shelf in this laboratory, and then he gets struck by lightning, and all the chemicals fall on him, and then he is imbued with this crazy red energy, and he is filled with this newfound power and then runs away very fast. Anyway, Barry is in his civilian clothes. He's at the Flash Museum. They're like they're throwing a parade for him. They're doing all this crazy shit, and they're all really excited about it. And he is not. He's like, nah, I'm mopey about it. So then Hal Jordan shows up, and he's like,
I
hey.
don't want to be alive.
And Hal Jordan shows up, and he goes, hey, you're getting Rebirth too. Me too, man. Worked out great for me. What are you so mad about? And he's like, basically, he doesn't understand why he's made it. You know, he's like, I was dead for 20 years, or so everybody thought. Why am I here? I'm angsty about it. And he just gets really, like, mad and sad and complaining about it.
Cool, you're fun.
You're fun.
I'm so glad you're here.
Right, everyone should be really thankful you're back.
This is like Geoff Johns is incepting, like, a hate for Alien. Like, no, I love him, but, like...
But, like, he's also a huge dickhead. And it's hilarious where this goes and how once they open the door to bringing back Barry, not unlike how when Barry opened the door to the Speed Force when he showed up in Infinite Crisis to pull Superboy Prime in, some bad mojo came through. Because when they open the door to allow Barry to come back, it immediately renders all the other speedsters redundant, especially when Geoff Johns is in charge of everything and starts pushing his major character. So, like, when
they were redundant to begin with.
I mean, like, there were a lot of speedsters, but there's room for everybody. And listen, Max was already in the Speed Force, and so is Johnny Quick, so screw them. Like, they're kind of off the table anyway. And nobody was following the adventures of Savitar, because Savitar went away anyway, too. And Savitar's a bad guy, too. Also created by Mark Waid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was just looking at how, like, this cornfield goes from, like, a cornfield to, like, lazy.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't want to draw that corn. Screw you.
Which is fine, I get that, but usually you taper it a little better. It's just like corn, and then...
Green.
And maybe it's just corn right there.
I got bored.
A couple of kids find a dead husk in in a Black Flash's costume. This is also funny because if you ever read Dark Knight Strikes Again by Frank Miller, when Barry Allen shows up, Carrie Kelly, a.k.a. Robin, a.k.a. Catgirl during that book, redesigns his costume and makes it the Black Flash costume.
Right.
And you're like, what are you doing? Anyway.
Don't be evil.
Just a fun little... And he's not. It just looked cooler. She did give him running shorts, though.
Which did not look cooler.
No, they did not.
Gotta show off those calves.
Yeah, that's true. He's not really sure what his place in the world is, and he's not really sure why he came back and why others didn't, but also, like, you know, what's my purpose now? I'm here, there's like 25 flashes, you know, what kind of role am I going to play? And then we see him, like, running, and as he's running, he's remembering his, like, origins, and his origins, of course, are that his mother was murdered and his father was blamed for it, and Barry showed up and watched that happen, and it's because of his mother's murder and his father's framing of said murder, so Barry believes, that he became a forensic specialist and got into crime at all.
Yeah, to exonerate his dad.
Yes, and of course, his father dies in prison, and even still he's trying to solve that cold case, and while he's working one late night, he's by the chemicals, and they get hit by lightning, and they fall on him, and he becomes the Flash. So, like, he's remembering all this crap when Savitar shows up, and Savitar is a speedster who is from the past. It doesn't matter. Because the point is, Savitar was a speedster created by Mark Waid, who was a bad guy, who had a cult created about him, who then shows up to fight Barry. Barry touches him, and he just withers and dies into dust. There's something about Barry right now that if he touches a speedster, seemingly they'll wither away and become bones.
Like any speedster?
Seemingly. Barry's investigating the death of Savitar when Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, shows up, and he's like,
investigating? You did it!
Well, now he's looking at the bones. I'd call that investigation. So Hal shows up, and he's looking at it, and he's like, what are you doing, man? And Barry's like, I don't know. So he runs away.
Hal's like, cool.
Yeah.
Barry's like, shake my hand, Hal! Oh, you're still here.
Oh, you're fine. Damn it.
Did you just try to shake me to death?
No, I tried to make you burst into bones.
Anyway, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Wall.
Punk. Ow!
Anyway, so Barry's being a dick to everybody, so he's avoiding everyone. So Wally eventually catches up with Barry, and he's like, what are you doing, man? How come you're being such a dick to everybody?
Yeah.
And
nothing, just don't touch me. Even though we're running side by side.
Right. Well, when we're walking together, I'm not ever, like, trying to touch you.
Well, have you ever accidentally brushed someone's arm or hand or bumped into them?
They're very careful, okay? The point is, you gotta let it go. So Wally and Barry are running, and Barry kind of like gives Wally
Oh,
the
they're
rundown.
running, you say in a flash book.
Believe it or not, most of the problems are solved by running faster than they've ever run before. So,
and they can't stop and have this conversation. They have to go someplace?
Yeah. Well, so they're running, and then they wind up investigating the bones of the Black Flash, who those children found. Then Lady Flash attacks Barry and Wally, and she's like, you killed my mentor! And Barry's like, yeah, stop. And he grabs her, and then she becomes bones.
And Wally's like,
whoa, don't touch me. So then, as Wally's freaking out, Barry's costume starts to change, and then Barry becomes the new Black Flash. So now it looks like Barry's new role in this universe, because, you know, Barry's whole thing is like, where do I fit in this universe? There's so many Flashes and shit. Then he touches a speedster, turns him into bones. Touches another speedster, bones.
so
Now his costume starts to change. He becomes the new Black Flash. Like, oh crap, I'm Death.
I'm sorry, the universe or the Speed Force itself is changing him?
Yeah.
dude, he should touch the Black Flash, and maybe that'll bring him back.
Yeah, right?
Like have an opposite
Since
effect.
he's already dead. Yeah, exactly. So Barry's Black Flash, the new Death of the Speedsters.
Sure.
Wally's like, oh crap. So then the Justice League teams up, and they build like a machine to contain him so that he doesn't hurt anybody. And by the way, Barry's on board. It's not like they're going to fight the Justice League. It's just literally, they all work together.
Alan Scott?
Oh yeah, Alan Scott, the Green Lantern, is a member of the JSA and technically hanging out and aware of what's going on.
Okay.
Jay Garrick's involved too, so probably Jay called it a favor.
Okay.
So Wally's like against the glass. He's like, "Come on, Barry. Like, we're gonna figure this out, you and me. Like, we just got you back. We're gonna make this work." And Barry's like, "Get away from me. Don't touch me. Like, don't go near me." And
I don't like you, and I don't like your face.
no, they love each other.
No.
Barry needs Wally, and Wally loves Barry. So anyway, so Jay and Wally and Bart show up, and they're talking to Barry. And Jay explains that, like, they're taking readings off him in the machine, and they mention that, like, there's these, like, crazy energy that's coming off of you, and it's made up of, like, dead fuel cells, and it might be the reason why you're killing speedsters and stuff. And they're like, we're going to use this machine to pull the energy out of you so that you're not going to hurt anybody anymore. You won't be able to be the Flash anymore, but at least you'll be alive. And at least you won't kill everybody.
And he's like, don't. If I'm not the Flash, I'm nothing.
Right, he doesn't do that.
Wait, am I going to have to drive places?
Right? No.
Or walk?
But it's funny because Bart shows up and he's like, so you were in the Speed Force. Explain what happened to my mentor, Max.
Ooh, okay.
And he's like,
Did you see him?
Right. And he's like, I don't know. He's like, thanks. Am I going to play a big role in this story?
The answer is no.
Yeah, and Barry's like, what do you think? Anyway, so Iris shows up.
I like that every single speedster is wearing giant boots instead of running sneakers.
Maybe they built the sneakers into the boots. I mean, like, listen, the boots are cool and iconic.
Like, it's just a design, I get it.
Yeah.
But, like, think about it. You have to run. Your whole thing is running.
I know.
Maybe wear sneakers.
I know. Smaller, more compact. I agree.
Maybe with some arch support or something.
Listen,
A nice
again,
insole.
I gotta say, Frank Miller drew on that Black Flash version of
I
Barry Allen's
know.
costume. He had sneakers, and they looked really dumb.
It did.
They look like Mickey Mouse shoes. And Barry basically says to Iris that she is his lightning rod. You're like, you're what keeps me grounded.
So we should bang, and you can take all this energy out of me.
I don't think he's quite there yet.
What?
So we go back to
lightning rods do, man.
the first date that Iris and Barry went on, and Barry's obviously he was struck by lightning actually right before they went on the date. So he has these flash powers, but he doesn't know quite how they're working yet. So like he shows them off by helping a waiter who dropped something, and Iris gives him a gift, and it's a bow tie because in the earlier comics he wore bow ties. And they're establishing that Iris is the one that got him into him.
Oh, okay.
This is a cute little moment between the two of them. But Barry remembering it makes him kind of like freak out, and then he breaks free of the containment field, and now all the speedsters are like, probably shouldn't have come here. And then Hal shows up, grabs him into a Green Lantern field, and then Barry basically says, like, Iris, I'm sorry and I love you, and then he runs away from them. And he's like, my plan is now, I am too dangerous, I'm too powerful, I'm going to go back in the Speed Force, I'm going to go away. I don't belong here. And of course, nobody can catch up with him except for Superman.
Right.
And so Clark's like, listen, Barry, we are losing way too many fun, important characters, and we just got you back.
Yeah.
Like, Bruce Wayne just died in Final Crisis, and we lost Jean Jones and Aquaman. And, like, we can't afford to lose more people.
Barry's like, okay, I care about one of them.
Right. Try to guess which one. So, I can't let you do this. And Barry's like, you can't not let me. You can't catch me. And Superman's like, Barry, I am as fast as you. We've raced before.
Yeah. And I have
Sometimes I've even won some of those races.
And I have like 4 other powers you don't.
Right, why don't I blast your kneecaps with my freaking heat vision? Bam!
How about I freeze you?
But he says, but he's just establishing, like, I'm faster than speeding bullet. He says, we've raced together. I've won some of those races. And Barry goes, those are for charity, Clark. Boosh! And then runs even faster and completely smokes Superman. And then he runs so fast that he basically starts going into the Speed Force. And as he's going through it, he's seeing his life kind of flash before his eyes. He's seeing these key moments in his life. When he gets up to the Speed Force, he hits this red barrier. And outside the barrier, he runs into Johnny Quick and Max Mercury, who are being attacked by this seemingly crazy red force.
Wait a minute, why is his costume back to red?
Oh, Barry's?
Yeah.
Because the energy that's affecting him is turning him into the Black Flash. But Barry still has enough of the original Speed Force in him to try and overcome it.
Okay.
And the faster he gets, the more Speed Force he's generating, so he gets in there.
Okay.
And he gets to
I thought he was running faster than the energy that was affecting him.
I mean, like, you could say it's one of those things. It doesn't really matter. The point is, like, the costume is a visualization of his, like, ability to outrun the control that this energy is having on him.
Right.
It'd be hilarious if he's not, like, he outran the fact, like, he could touch another speedster now and he won't disintegrate them.
Right. Well, we don't know that. What we do know is, here are some speedsters we thought were dead or in the Speed Force, and they're like, this isn't the Speed Force where we are right now. You've got to, like, solve this mystery. And then Johnny Quick, whose daughter is on the JSA, he's like, please protect my daughter. And then he gets attacked by some unseen force and then withers away and dies and disappears into the Force. Max grabs Barry, doesn't wither away and die, and says, it's not you. You're not killing the speedsters. It's Professor, and then he gets his ass kicked, and then Professor Zoom / Eobard Thawne Reverse Flash shows up.
Oh, okay.
I've inverted your Speed Force.
I changed your polarity.
More or less. So then we find out that the guy behind it is Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
Reverse Flash punches all the speedsters. Max and Barry try to overwhelm him. Reverse Flash is too powerful.
And Johnny just sits there doing nothing.
Johnny is bones.
He's lazy bones.
So then Reverse Flash basically says, everyone sit down, I have to explain why I'm here and why this is different from before. So then he does the whole, like...
Wait, he's not being a bad guy?
He is the bad guy. No, he's just explaining how he's the bad guy.
He's monologuing.
He's monologuing. He's like, hold on a minute, stay here for a second. I'm
no,
gonna explain
just kill me. Barry, touch me, please. I can't do this.
You had died, and you were a martyr. You saved everybody, even though you really didn't. You broke the gun. Good for you. But
the Antimatter was still around. He could have built another gun.
It's like 3 or 4 more issues after you died. So... anyway, you saved everybody or whatever, but you died saving everybody. Everybody remembers that you were awesome, and then you were gone. But you really went to the Speed Force. And then, in Infinite Crisis, you popped out of the Speed Force and pulled Superboy Prime in. But when you did, you kind of left the door open into the Speed Force. So then, Reverse Flash noticed that, and then sent a subliminal message through that hole into the Speed Force that basically called out to Barry to come back. Because it's like, you need to come back. Because you died a hero 20 years ago, and now I can't get my revenge on you for being such a dick. So I need you to come back so I can ruin you. So I can be more of a jerk. So then...
So, wait, hang on. Let me guess. This isn't going to work.
Well, no, it does work. That's
but
the message
it's not like he's going to get his revenge.
Oh no! I mean, like, well, you know.
I'm just saying, like, this is such a stupid plan. Your plan is to bring him back to life, and then you're like, but this time I'll totally kill him. All the other times that I didn't kill him.
Yeah, Reverse Flash has a ridiculously diabolical scheme, and you might even say this is overkill. He's already got his revenge. But,
I mean, Barry did disintegrate a couple of people.
Yeah, well, but they were bad guys.
He didn't know that.
But that was all part of Reverse Flash's plan. Thawne reveals that he recreated the circumstances by which he got his powers and by Barry got his powers, but in a special new kind of configuration that resulted, this time, in a new set of powers that created a kind of inverse Speed Force, a reverse Speed Force, if you will, that is generated by Thawne's speed. When Thawne runs fast enough, he generates reverse Speed Force energy. And if he runs enough and generates enough energy, he can contaminate Barry's Speed Force energy, thereby setting him into reverse and causing him to, like, hurt people when he touches them.
Just Barry's, though.
Just Barry's, and only it affects speedsters when he touches them. So that was his plan. I'm gonna create a separate Speed Force that is like the inversion of yours, and it will affect you and affect, like, your ability to touch and associate with your family. So,
but Reverse Flash and Barry can touch.
Right. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And so basically, I needed you to live so that you could become a monster. Because before, when you were dead, you were a martyr. But now, you know, you'll live with your guilt.
Although
of
at the
killing
moment,
your family.
You're a hero because you destroyed, like, what, 2, 3 villains?
Yeah, 2 or 3 villains. Yeah, 3 or 4 villains, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks.
So you're welcome.
Damn it! Damn it! No, my plan was for you to touch your friends.
Yeah. Oh, there's also a retcon in here that Barry created the Speed Force.
What?
Yeah, that the Speed Force, when Mark Waid invented it, was like this force in the universe, and that speedsters could tap into it and use it. But actually, Barry created the Speed Force, because Barry's the most important character of the DC Universe. And so whenever Barry runs really fast, he generates Speed Force energy. that helps to contribute to the general Speed Force.
Then how did Jay Garrick?
Because the Speed Force transcends time and space. So it's like the Speed Force always will and always has been. So
Because Barry.
Well, and Jay actually didn't used to tap into the Speed Force. Jay was pre-Speed Force.
Okay. But Wally was the one who tapped into the Speed Force first. Like, that's when it was
in the original
created.
comics.
Yeah.
But now, the Speed Force that Wally was tapping into was Barry's.
Thanks, Jeff.
So, the Justice League teams up, and they're like, Barry's freaking out. And Wally's like, well, I'm only fast enough to go into the Speed Force and get him, so I'm off. So then Wally runs into the Speed Force and goes and gets him. We also meet up with Wally's family, Linda and his children, who are also fast.
Is Linda fast?
No, she's just a person.
Okay. Oh, that's got to be fun.
Yeah, right?
Like all these like speeding children.
I know, it's horrible.
I know you did that.
But,
She's just constantly popping Xanax.
Wow.
yeah.
I can't.
I can't deal with these kids.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah. So anyway, Max, because after Eobard drops the bomb on Barry, he disappears. And he goes to the West family to like mess with them. Max sticks around. He's like, so let me further explain the plot to you. You created the Speed Force when you created the chemicals and the lightning bolt hit you. And the reverse flash energy that Eobard's making will, if he keeps running at his rate and he keeps like operating the way he is, will eventually overtake and consume the real Speed Force, and it'll kill us all.
So does Barry just have to keep running forever to keep creating Speed Force?
I'm sure that's what Barry would want to do because Barry's like such a selfless person. But like instead, Max just like go kill him, go stop him, like go fight Reverse Flash. Max also leaves Barry with one last thing to remember, and it's never forget Iris. She is your lightning rod.
And never forget where you came from.
Right. So anyway, Zoom's gonna kill Wally West's kids because he's a dickhead, and then.
Oh, that's stupid.
He's just a jerk.
Yeah, but you can't. Well, no.
He's a petty jerk.
But like, it's like you're obsessed with Barry Allen. But you know what?
I'm gonna mess with Wally's kids too.
Yeah, not Wally.
Well,
Wally's kids.
Wally took up the mantle of the Flash. He's tied to this. You know, none of these speeds are gonna walk away from this. So
you want to turn Barry into a monster? Have Barry touch Wally's kids, and then they disintegrate.
He's already he couldn't wait, so he told Barry his nefarious scheme, and now Barry's not going to do that. So Jay Garrick and Bart Allen team up, and they punch Thawne. Meanwhile, Barry has to run away and out of the Speed Force and free himself from the negative Speed Force that's infecting him.
Right.
But by the way, if he runs fast enough, he'll also free himself from the negative Speed Force, so that way he won't be able to hurt people when he touches them.
Okay.
So he's running out of there.
It's like some TNG shit.
Oh, yeah. So Wally goes into the Speed Force, and he's looking for Barry, but what he winds up finding is Max Mercury, and he's like, hey, man, let's get out of here. So then Wally grabs Max.
My grandson likes you.
Yeah, exactly. So as Bart is fighting Reverse Flash, Wally is pulling Max out of the Speed Force, and then those two show up as Reverse Flash is going to stab Bart with his dumbass stick. And then they show up and like they're gonna fight him.
So okay, so did the negative Speed Force go away because Barry escaped it?
Yeah, Barry like ran it out of the system more or less.
So, but wasn't Max trapped in there already before he even got there?
Max was trapped outside the Speed Force because the negative Speed Force was keeping him from being able to enter.
Right, so that was there prior to Barry showing up.
Yeah, well, it was created by Reverse Flash's new experiment.
But like, why couldn't Max have left before, and why didn't Barry help him leave?
Well, he was still stuck in this like nebulous dimension kind of thing.
But not in the Speed Force anymore.
Right, and so he couldn't tap into the Speed Force in order to use it.
That's so weird.
But why didn't Barry help him?
Well, because Barry had to run away, and Max was like kind of like sacrificing himself.
Oh, okay.
For the greater good.
I just thought that was funny that Wally's like, did somebody leave you?
Right.
Like,
why are you here?
Come on, man.
Yeah. Well, no, because Max was still. We're already killing all these speedsters.
Yeah.
As a reader, you're like, oh, and Max is going to let himself die too. If we're going to bring back Barry, we have to get rid of at least 4 speedsters so that Barry doesn't seem so redundant.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, we'll get rid of the bad guy speedsters, and we'll get rid of some of the other speedsters, like Johnny Quick and maybe Jay Garrick. But for now, Johnny Quick is dead. Max Mercury's already here. He's already old and redundant. He's connected with a character we don't want to write about anymore. So let's get rid of him. So he's like, oh, I'm getting old. And then Wally's like, no. Like the readers are like, no. I'm never going to let you stop. I'm never going to let you forget about these characters I like. So then the Flash family gets together. Wally and Barry and Jay and Max and Bart. And so they're all going to like team up and punch Thawne, which they do.
Okay.
The withering away thing goes away immediately now. We don't have to worry about that anymore. Don't focus on that anymore because it's over. That plot point is gone.
We're not going to say how we
He
did it.
did that, and then he didn't anymore. Like, he did that, and then Barry got over it.
It's like, once I explained the plot, it's like, oh, well, now we don't have to worry about it.
That's right. We've done it already. It's over.
Then this chick shows up.
That's Liberty Bell. That's Johnny Quick's daughter.
Oh.
Wait.
She doesn't have a speed name?
Yeah, what the hell?
I'm just Liberty Bell.
Yes.
But she is also fast.
What are your powers? Do you have sound-based powers?
No, I'm just fast. And I have lightning kind of powers.
Do you fight for freedom?
Nope. I mean, we all do, really.
Are you a big fan of Philly cheesesteaks?
Presumably.
Do you have a crack in you?
Yeah, we all do. So all the Flash family gets together and they're gonna kick Reverse Flash's ass. And then they're like, "Come on, let's go!" And Reverse Flash says, "Max, you can't chase me because you don't have a lightning rod like the rest of them do. They all have lightning rods, but you don't. So stay behind."
I'm sorry. They mean like a literal lightning rod, like someone who can like
Ground them to. He doesn't have anyone who loves him. Is what he's saying. Except he doesn't. It's Bart, but let's not focus on that.
love is the lightning rod.
More or less.
What does that have to do
You
with...
need a literal person. You can't just be like, "I love humanity."
I love this sandwich.
Yeah, no. That sandwich is eventually going to go bad or you're going to eat it. So either way. So anyway, all the speedsters run into the Speed Force to chase after Reverse Flash. And then Wally says, "Okay, I figured out a trick," and it's true he did, that if you are in the Speed Force and you're a speedster, if you think about a costume you want, it will appear on you, which is not too far from having a costume that fits into a tiny ring that jumps out when it expands into contact with air.
Okay, other than like Wally was just messing around, why would that matter?
Well, because now we need everyone to have cool new redesigned costumes to visually differentiate Wally and Barry, because Barry's not going anywhere. So
Right.
then, and while we're doing that, I guess we'll also make everybody else have new costumes too. So like everybody gets a slightly updated costume or a totally new redesign.
Jay Garrick doesn't really.
No.
Jay Garrick's like, and I'm happy as I
And I'm
am.
running in jeans, which is uncomfortable as hell. So
They're the fabric of my generation.
You just hear, like, dude.
Hey, at least they're
obliterated.
Not, at least they're not corduroy.
Yeah. Just fire. So then they all punch Thawne, and then Thawne's like, "Screw this. This isn't about you. It's about Barry." So then he grabs Barry, and they take like a hard left, and they jump out of the Speed Force they're running into, and into a
Dude!
new part of the Speed Force.
You made it about not Barry by going after Wally's kids.
Yeah, well, now it's about you. It's all about Barry. So then Reverse Flash grabs Barry, and they leave. And then Reverse Flash says, "Hey, so like, remember that time?"
And no one follows them?
No. So then
They're all thinking about costumes.
yeah, they're all like, "Wow, I mean, whoa. So like, I can change it into anything. I can have a Batman costume." So anyway,
And Liberty Bell's like, this isn't what I thought of. Who was thinking of this costume?
exactly.
Literally.
All the men are like,
What?
so anyway, Thawne's like, "Remember that time when you were in school and nobody was around and then you fell down the stairs for no reason and broke your arm? That was me. Hey, remember that time that like your dog died? Yeah, that was me. Hey, remember that time that your mom died? Yeah, that was me. Every bad thing that has literally ever happened to you, ever in your life, was me. The reason why you never had friends, the reason why nobody likes you, the reason why your mom's dead, why they blamed your dad, it's all me. Because Thawne can exist in like all of time, and that's also why you can't kill him, because like Thawne exists within every moment. So like if you kill him here, there's another Thawne that was like back here. There's like a million Thawnes. So like that Thawne will just replace him.
Don't all the Thawnes get really annoyed at one another?
They should, but they're all part of the same Thawne, so it doesn't really matter. Like they're all part of the same collective consciousness. But the point is, Thawne's the reason why Barry not only is miserable, but
it's
also
also the Flash.
is also the Flash.
So, why would he do that?
Because he knows that he needs Barry to become the Flash in order for him to become Reverse Flash. Because same lightning bolt.
But wouldn't
makes
like
Reverse
the
Flash.
ultimate revenge on him for him to never be the Flash and to never be able to be a martyr or be
Yeah.
able to be a hero?
Oh, absolutely.
So like even if he wasn't a villain, then he
Yeah.
still would have achieved his goal.
Totally.
Well, that's actually the ultimate achievement of his goal.
But
Right.
instead, he's like, remember that time in like 4th grade when you farted in front of the whole class?
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah, that's literally it. That's all. That's not even a joke. So Anyway, he then says, you know, since I killed your mom, and you still managed to like conquer it, maybe what I should do, because earlier when Barry goes into the Speed Force and like he's like losing himself, he's like forgetting who he is, but like he's trying to remember who was his lightning rod. He's forgetting his own name, and then Max Mercury from the Speed Force is like, hey, Barry, your name's Barry, and your lightning rod is Iris, remember? And so like Reverse Flash is like, since your lightning rod is Iris, maybe I'll go back and I'll kill her. You know, screw it. I've had my fun. Now maybe I'll just destroy everything that you ever were. If I kill Iris, then, you know, everything will be fine. Barry starts to try and catch up with Reverse Flash in the past. Wally runs into him, and the two of them, like, help each other out. And they're running...
Oh, Wally found him now. Good.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, they're touching while they're running.
Yeah, well, I told you, he's not infected.
No,
with
I
the
just
Reverse
mean, like,
Speed
you
Force
said they
anymore.
people don't touch when they're walking or running.
Barry was falling at the moment, and Wally picked him up. If Ben were falling while we were walking, I would
I
catch
just let
him
him go down.
I
'Cause
know.
I don't
Then I
touch
point and
people.
laugh.
Well, I might.
I mean, I would definitely laugh, but like the point being,
I mean,
so
as long as there weren't teeth involved.
so
Yeah.
they're following Thawne's trail to go catch up with him. Meanwhile, we're watching like those moments in the past where like Iris picked out the bow tie, she gets a cab, and you know we're watching Barry and he's sitting.
And I made Iris pick the bow tie too, because
it's
bow
so
ties are lame.
You look like Bill fucking Nye, you dork. So
Hey.
Barry and Wally run and stop Thawne and prevent him from killing Iris, but at the same time they also are running so fast they become the lightning bolt that creates the Flash. So the lightning bolt that hits the chemicals and makes Barry Allen is actually Barry running so
Okay.
fast to stop Thawne from killing Iris.
Nope.
No, this is just time travel stuff.
Yeah, it
this
is.
doesn't work.
It's just...
No, it transcends time. It's hyper time.
It can't be. You can't have the thing that creates you be you
No,
to
it is.
create you.
This is like defining a word by using the word.
Right. So, also, Thawne says that no matter what you do, I'm still going to make it. Because even if I die, there's going to be an event that Jeff Johns is going to write a couple, like, months or years from now in which I will be resurrected. So, like, you can't beat me.
Yeah, just go ahead, kill me now. I don't care.
Because, like, Jeff Johns is writing it, so he knows he's going to do Blackest Night when Necron raises Reverse Flash. Anyway, so they stop him. And then they push Thawne, like, through time, through the Speed Force, as they are arriving at the Justice League building the energy thingy. You know, like that thing.
The cube?
The tube that was going to contain Barry when he was becoming Black Flash.
Yeah.
And so they push Reverse Flash into it, because Reverse Flash is still powered by the energy that Black Flash was infused with.
Wouldn't Black Flash have still been there?
And didn't, like, Black Flash Barry, like, break out of that containment chamber anyway?
Yes, but Thawne isn't as fast as Barry.
Okay.
He's not as powerful as Barry. Barry's the best. He's fastest, he's the best, he's great. They catch Thawne, and it all happens within like the span of a second. So like, you know, Iris is walking to meet with Barry, and then like that spear that was gonna kill her like just falls, and she sees it, and it's like, oh, what's this? So then,
I'll touch this and contaminate the evidence.
right. So they tap Reverse Flash's energy, and now he's just Thawne, and so they wrap him up in chains.
Oh, okay.
So he's
So you just had to go through a horrific experience first.
I mean,
though.
like, it looks like it kills you.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
as it turns out, it just takes away your negative Speed Force.
Okay.
Which is all he has.
But because he's powered by the Reverse Speed Force, if he ever runs, it'll generate, because he generates negative Speed Force energy. The way that Barry runs and
So they
generates.
should just keep him
speed-
in the tube all the time.
So they should just cut his legs off.
They should absolutely cut his legs off.
Yes.
I
Don't,
mean, they-
don't even break them.
No, just cut them off.
Wait, if he gets mechanical legs, does that count?
I don't think so. Because those legs aren't going to go nearly as fast as superpowered Reverse Flash legs.
I don't know. Maybe they
They
could.
could.
Why don't they just cut his head off? So now that Barry like feels good about himself again, he goes to all the parties in his honor. He goes
That
to-
wasn't. Wait, whoa. Those parties are over.
No, he went in the past when those parties were about to start.
Hey, Barry will actually show up this time.
Well, like, here's the
Another party.
question. I don't know if it's like that they had new parties or if this whole adventure took like 20 minutes.
How did they run
It
through
is Speedster,
time?
so it could.
That's the thing. A lot of the stuff that happens in the last chapter of the story happened within a second or two.
Yeah.
So like it stands to reason that maybe the whole thing is only 5 minutes.
Yeah.
How did they run through time without the cosmic treadmill?
Oh, they don't need that shit anymore. They're fast. Barry's fast, man. the fastest thing alive, like Sonic the goddamn Hedgehog.
So they can just run through time.
Well, sometimes.
So, like, they should never be able to not fix a problem.
I agree.
Where's that
Well-
really lame crossover, by the way?
Oh, Flash and Sonic?
Yeah.
Good question. Well, the thing
Well,
is,
he's not Warner Brothers, unfortunately.
later they will do that, and it's called Flashpoint, and it'll ruin everything. Because eventually Barry's like, hey, why don't I go back in time and save my mom? So, you know, he does, and it ruins everything.
Well,
And then he fixes it.
I have never seen anybody eat cake more awkwardly than the way Green Arrow is drawn eating
He is
cake.
dropping it. I know.
Quick, we're going to take a picture. Make it look like you're eating cake. All right, you're going to want to cheat that cake to the camera. I worked on the Food Network before.
Right. So, so the story ends with Barry going to his own party and being like, you know what? I started this book being like, man, I feel like I'm kind of redundant. There's like a lot of Flashes. They kind of earned their spot. You know, I've kind of been dead for a long time. Maybe I shouldn't be here. No, you know what? The reality is, I am great. I am the best Flash. Like I said, like this opens up a doorway to the irrelevancy of every other Flash. Bart, screw him. Forget about that. Max Mercury, get a life. After Flashpoint, no more Max, no more Jay, no more Johnny. They all go away. They never happened now. So then, like, and Jeff Johns like, no, because I'm going to bring back Jay Garrick in a big bad way, but I'm going to take like 10 years to do it, and each issue will take another 2 years to come out. So no, I'm never going to bring him back. So
It's funny because he's like the opposite of the Flash. He's not
he's
fast
slow.
at all.
Yeah, he's the slowest thing alive. And then, like, Wally, no, not only does Wally get screwed, Wally never was a Flash.
What?
He was Kid Flash, and then after the New 52 takes hold, he was never even a guy. They replaced him with an African-American version of Wally West, who was just Kid Flash. Then after Rebirth, they bring back Wally West, and there's 2 Wally Wests. Then Tom King made Wally West into a big murderer.
Oh, yeah. For me, like, really, like, knowing most of the Justice League via the cartoon before reading more about it,
Yeah.
Wally West is the Flash I know.
Yes. Well, screw you.
Thanks.
Flash Rebirth! Reestablishes Barry, I guess, and ruins Wally West forever.
That's really, you know what it is? That's what's so unnecessary, is that, like, if you want to bring Barry back, fine. You have, like, another Flash for no reason. But there's no reason to end up ruining someone else to do that.
Right, but they don't know how else to fix it.
I
know,
don't
but
like that you replaced the guy that I liked with a different guy.
Right.
That was 20 years ago, man. Get over it.
It was 20 years
No,
ago.
I'm
and-
in the biz now.
Right.
And that guy, but, like, and Barry got to go out like a hero.
Yeah, but, like, I remember him more.
But, like, I'm just saying, like, they did a good service to Barry when they got rid of him.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, and when I get rid of Wally, I will destroy him.
So that you can never bring him back. So I'm going to put a link in the description box of this video where you can get a copy of Flash Rebirth if you are so inclined. I guess you can get it. And we'll see you guys next time in another episode of Back Issues. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
So long.
There's so much lightning in this book. It is hard to see everything.
It gets worse. Like, when they New 52 them and they give them, like, new costumes, they actually, like, make lightning in the design, so, like, he'll never not have lightning. Like, it's just all lightning all the time.
I crackle.
Johns also is the guy who, like, started making Green Lantern. Like, Green Lantern has a logo on his chest, but when he's using his ring, that logo also has, like,
Pops
a
out.
projection over that logo, and he's like, draw that every time. Every single goddamn time. So it's like I got this extra logo right over my other logo.
It's like the bat signal, but better.
But for myself,
I make it. It's
so
like I have a
dumb.
Green Lantern heart on.